everybody, this is Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report for you. This one is actually kind of exciting. It's a 2,500 point battle versus the new Dark Elf book, and it's on the day of release. A guy was in there, got the book at like when the store opened at like 10:30 in the morning, and by 8 o'clock in the afternoon he was ready to go. Well, let me rephrase that. He was ready to try out his list with some using a bunch of proxies. So this battle report is heavily proxied. So if you don't like proxy models, you don't like watching battle reports that have proxy models, then go ahead and just stop this one now because you will not enjoy it. But if you do enjoy that kind of thing, or you're just curious to see how Warriors of Chaos do against the new Dark Elf book, then sit back, relax, and get ready to be rocked because, yeah, we get rocked here. But anyway, it's a 2,500 point battle versus Lord Tremendous, that's me, of the Warriors of Chaos, versus Pure Corruption of the Dark Elves, because for some reason that sounds Dark Elfish to me. If I'm wrong, well, you come up with a better name on the fly. My list is same as always. My Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous, Mark Zinch, level 4 Wizard, Chaos Armor with Wings, Charm Shield, Dragonbane Gem, Other Trickster Shard, Soul Feeder, Scaled Skin, Demon Blade, and the Laura Metal. My backup heroes are the Exalted Hero, Tardum, the Herald of Zinch. He's Mark Zinch, BSB, Demonic Mount that's barded. He has a great weapon. He uses the Talisman of Preservation, Poisonous Slime, and the Third Eye of Zinch. Last but not least is the Chaos Sorcerer, Ashicus the Muse. He's my Mark Slaanesh level 2 wizard. He's on a Steed of Slaanesh, the Slickness. He's got an Enchanted Shield, the Skull of Catan, a Luck Stone, the Ruby Ring of Ruin, and he uses the Laura Slaanesh because it kills people. My core choices were 24 by Brick Chaos Warriors with Mark Zinch, Full Command, Hand Weapon Shield, and a Banner of Eternal Flame. I also had a unit of 5 Warhounds with poisonous attacks, 2 Chariots, 1 Mark Zinch, and 1 Mark Slaanesh. The Slaaneshi one was, of course, Orcish Elegance. My special choices, my 3 Trolls, Ooga Booga Booga. They had extra hand weapons. My Chimera, with Poison and Regen, because it's the perfect kit out. And 5 Hellstriders, the Pleasure Riders, with Banner Musicians, Spears, and Shields. Last but not least is, of course, my... Yeah, that just happened. My opponent's list, this is from memory, it was kind of on a legal pad with a bunch of scribbles in it and stuff like that, so if we got stuff wrong, we messed up some rules or whatever, it's to be expected. But here it is more or less from memory. He had a Supreme Sorceress as his general, level 4 wizard. She had the Sacrificial Dagger, the Talisman of Preservation, she used the Lore of Dark Magic, and if she had anything else, I don't remember what it was. For his heroes, he had a Canine Assassin with Manbane and the Cloak of Twilight. He also had a Death Hag on the Cauldron of Blood that had Witch Brew, and if she had anything else, I don't recall what it was. He also had a Master, which was his BSB on foot, with the Sword of Might, the Ring of Hotek. I think he had a shield and possibly some other stuff. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Hey, buddy, if you're watching this, if you could put it in the comments section, I'm sure everybody would be grateful. If not, well, then you're a bad person, and everybody will shun you. Shun! His core choices were a unit of 28 by Witch Elves with Full Command and the Razor Standard, and they were in with the Cauldron of Blood, of course, or the Cauldron of Blood was in with them. And I think that's something that we can expect to see a lot. And yeah, it's as terrifying as you might think. But you'll see. Don't take my word for it. Take my pictures for it. He also had a unit of 18 by Dark Shards with Musician and Shields, and a unit of 15 Dread Spears with Musician. And the Dread Spears are kind of bare because they were sacrificial lambs for his Supreme Sorceress and that Sacrificial Dagger, which is just kind of cool. Stab! 4-up. No, I didn't roll a 4-up. Stab! Which one of you has the right blood type? I love that. His special choices were brick 24 by Executioners with Full Command, and I think the Banner of Swiftness. Not 100% on that one. He had a Magic Banner in that unit. It was not the Flaming Banner, but it was one of them. I can't remember which one now. He had 2 Reaper Bolt Throwers, a War Hydra with Fiery Breath, and then of course his rare choice was the Bloodrack Medusa, which is in the background there. And if that isn't the coolest friggin' model I've seen in a long time, I don't know what is. So yeah, if you get a chance to get your hands on one of these, I would do it. They're very cool. These are my spells, 4 from Metal, 2 from Slaanesh, and 1 from the Ruby Ring of Ruin. Yay! These were his spells. I'm not overly familiar with these spells. Well, I wasn't at the time. Now I know them intimately. But yeah, if your opponent is playing Dark Elves and takes Dark Magic, I hope and pray you have some sort of magic defense, because, oh baby, do they have some mean tricks. Here's deployment. As you can see, I didn't really know what I was up against, so I did what I would normally do. I put a big solid center in the middle, I put some supporting units on the flank, and the dogs went over to the left to try to get a hold of the Medusa and the War Hydra's attention, to get them to come over to the left flank where they'd be useless. I thought for sure with the Medusa I'd be good, because she only had leadership 2, and I saw where he placed her. She was way out of the bubble for not only the BSB but the Lord, so that was cool. The War Hydra is leadership 8, so I had no delusions about him. But I figured put the dogs up there, get the Medusa over to the side, and with a little luck, keep her out of the game for as much of it as I possibly can, you know? But, okay, here's his right flank. The Phoenix that you see represents his War Hydra. The Medusa is the Medusa. That unit of High Elf archers are his, what is it? The repeater crossbowmen. I can't, dread shards or something like that. But yeah, that's what that unit is right there. So whenever you see the archers, they're the repeater bolt crossbow guys. Blah blah blah. Here is his center. Obviously, there's his Cauldron of Blood, and those are not Skaven clan rats. Those are witch elves. They're just in the process of converting. In the back there, the High Elf spearmen there are actually the Dread Spears. Again, the way you should look at this is all these High Elves are converting over to Dark Elves. They just haven't gotten the new armor yet, or the sadistic nature. Anyway, they're working on it. But yeah, that unit in the back there is his unit of 15 Dread Spears, and that little metal model, the little female one, that's his general, the Supreme Sorceress. The unit of Swordmasters are his unit of Executioners, and of course the banner guy on our left of that unit is the BSB. And a little disclaimer: the Assassin is in the unit of Executioners, just so you know. And on his left flank are his 2 Reaper Bolt Throwers. So yeah. My right flank, there's my Hellstriders with Ashikis. I vanguarded up a little bit so I could get a hold of those stupid bolt throwers, but I also kept them behind the forest so I could get the soft cover save in case I didn't go first. It seemed like a good idea at the time. And of course, there's my Chimera hanging tough, looking to eat some elf, because that's what he does. And of course, there are my trolls right there next to the Chimera with the BSB attached. Here's my center. There's my warriors on the right, my Tzeentch and Slaanesh chariots in the center, and then my Mutilate Vortex Beast flanked by my Demon Prince. And if you're wondering where my big Demon Prince is, my wife was painting it while we were playing this on this day, so I used one of my older models. So there, good eye. And of course my left flank consists of the dogs, wondering why they have to die every game. Here's top 1 after movement. I did not get to go first. He got the +1, and he rolled 6 twice, so there was nothing I could do about that. So yeah, there's no subtlety here whatsoever. He moves forward. He wants to see what his army can do, and so he pushes them right at me. I can respect that. During his magic phase, he gets Word of Pain off on me. He actually did roll doubles in order to cast a spell, and with their new lore attribute, he did 2d6 strength 1 hits against the warriors, and as you can see, he did nothing to me. So the lore attribute, while it's a nice little bonus, I still say the High Elves got the better bonus with their high magic over this dark magic lore. Because strength 1 hits, I mean, even 2d6, even 3d6, you're almost always going to need 6s, and it's just not going to do anything. Even at -1 armor save, it's just not going to do anything. I'm sorry. Especially not against my warriors. Not my boys! He got Power of Darkness off here into his Witch Elf unit with the Cauldron, so they are now +1 toughness, or +1 strength. And he, I think, channeled 1 more power die. So that was interesting. That was an interesting little tweak to that spell, where all of a sudden someone's getting +1 strength. Yeah, definitely a bonus for the very offensive Dark Elves. During his shooting, both repeater bolt throwers fire multiple shots at the Hellstriders and kill them to a man. They did hit my hit Ashicus once, but he armor saved it, no problem. Here's bottom of 1 after movement. As you can see, I'm cautious. Again, I really don't know what I'm up against. I know they've got me outmaneuvered, outmovement. So yeah, I move Ashicus into the forest up to the bolt throwers. I angle him in such a way that only one bolt thrower is going to get a clean shot at him. The other one would give me hard cover if he decided to shoot at him. But I needed to get those bolt throwers out of the game before my real monsters started taking some damage. The dogs moved up. I know you can't see them, but the dogs moved up around the side of the house to get the attention of the Medusa and the Hydra, and the rest of my army kind of hangs back. I did forget to move my Demon Prince, but it ends up working out in the end. Everything else, the Mutalith just moved up to get a better shot with his spell, and everybody else just kind of got ready to adapt. Meanwhile, I'm sorry, the Chimera ran over to the right there and got ready to charge at whatever unit presented itself, because I needed to do something quick. During the magic phase, I forced through by 1 point. I beat him on the roll by 1 point. I forced through final transmutation on his witch elves. I kill 5 of the witch elves, and I get his death hag. Oh, that was huge too, because she had that item on him that gives the witch elves double frenzy, which means they would have gotten extra attacks on top of their frenzied attacks. So yeah, I was very glad that I turned her ass into gold. I forgot completely to roll for the actual cauldron itself, and so like 2 or 3 turns later, I remember it, and by this time it's too late. But just to tempt fate, I roll a die to see what would have happened, and guess what? It turned up on a 6, so I kicked myself a little bit on that one. I could have taken care of the damn cauldron, you know, in turn 1 or 2 here, and or turn 1, and yeah, I screwed up. But doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. My fault. I'm actually kind of glad, in a way, that I was able to keep the cauldron on there, because I got to see what it did, and I got a life lesson out of it. But yeah, final transmutation was awesome. Top of 2 after movement. As you can see, nothing really changed. The War Hydra charged the dogs that at first stood, because I figured if the War Hydra hit the dogs and killed them all, maybe he'd get to reform or whatever. Maybe he'd pursue, maybe he'd overrun. I don't care. He's out of the way now. But the dogs failed their terror check, so it was completely out of my hands. They fled. They got away, and the Hydra just kept going. He tried to redirect, I think, but failed his leadership test. Meanwhile, the Medusa, I believe you'll see, yeah. She doesn't do anything. The archers don't do anything, and the rest of his army just kind of moves up. Just slightly, though. Not very much. We're both kind of, tiptoeing around each other right now. There's a better picture of the dogs fleeing from certain death. And then remember final transmutation? Well, the leadership 2 Medusa failed her stupidity check and rolled, I think, 3 inches into the forest there. So yeah, she's done for a turn. And the archers also failed their stupidity check and trundled forward a few inches into the forest a little bit and are done for a turn. His magic phase is unremarkable, and we have no combat, so we go in the bottom of 2. And I've decided I've had enough of this hit or miss game, and I charge both chariots into the witch elves. I charged my Mutalith into his stupid archers, and I failed my charge. The BSB leaves the unit of trolls and lets them go up to sacrifice themselves to the swordmaster or the executioners, because I was hoping that they would hit the trolls and either overrun or just stand there so that my warriors could charge them with the Chimera in their flank or in their front. I didn't care. I wanted to get a hold of them. And then, what's-his-face? Ashicus charges into the first bolt thrower, passing his dangerous terrain check and everything. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, and my Demon Prince, of course, charges into the flank of the Hydra that made the mistake of trying to kill my puppies. So yeah, here's a better picture of my Demon Prince into the Hydra. That is not a Frost Phoenix, that is a Hydra, a War Hydra no less. Again, they're converting over to Dark Elvism, so it takes a minute. Over here, there's my chariot slamming into the Witch Elves, and this seemed like a great idea at the time. It really did. And there's Ashicus looking to just massacre everything he can out of that bolt thrower. My magic is uneventful, so we go into combat, and Ashicus gets his revenge, kills the first bolt thrower, and overruns into the second. No problem. But then we go into the combat with the Witch Elves. And I'm pretty confident thinking that 2d6 plus 2 strength 5 impact hits are going to be the pwn, right? Toughness 3 models. There's a whole bunch of them. What could Strength 3? Strength 4 because he got Power Darkness off on him. Got Power Darkness off again and hit them with the +1 Strength. So there are now Strength 4 Witch Elves. And yeah, I slam into him. I do like 10 impact hits, but he's got a 5-up ward because of the Cauldron. I was under the impression it was a 6-up ward. I was wrong, and I paid for my failures. I end up doing like 8 wounds to him, but he saves 5 of them, so only like 3 get through. He makes 5 ward saves, and it was like, ooh. But you know what? It never really mattered because when they attacked, oh my god. Always strikes first, so they need 4s to hit me, and 6s are poison. And he's rolling 30 plus attacks on each chariot. So, or whatever it was, some insane amount of attacks into my chariot. Each of them. So he rolls them, and he gets, you know, plenty of wounds on them. They're at -2 because they're strength 4 plus the razor standard that's in the unit. So they do a ton of wounds. They end up just flat out killing both chariots before combat, before either the riders or the horses even get a chance to attack. So I charge in 235 points worth of chariots into this brick of witch elves. I kill 3 of them, and they murderalize them. Rerolling hits, rerolling wounds, all wounds, not just ones because of the Cauldron. Holy God, did I not? I totally underestimated the witch elves, and I paid for it with chariots. So that sucked. The Demon Prince ends up putting 4 wounds on the War Hydra, takes none in return, and when a Hydra breaks, I cannot catch him. So he gets away, but just barely. So we go to top of 3, and as you can see, the Dark Elves capitalize on my failures. The Witch Elves and the Cauldron slam into the front of my warriors, the Executioners slam into the Trolls, the War Hydra rallies, and I believe the Medusa tried to charge the Mutalith and failed, and I believe that's about it. So yeah, here's a better picture of the Trolls about to get up close and personal with the Executioners, and as you can see in the far right there's his assassin popping out of the unit. Over here, there's the Witch Elves and the Cauldron slamming into my warriors. And you know what? I was actually okay with this. I know the chariots got mulched. I know that, you know, the strength 4 really hurt. But now they're strength 3. And I'm really, you know, concerned about the +1 strength and everything now. So I'm like, nope, you're not going to get the +1 strength this time. I'm going to stop that Power of Darkness. So I'm actually pretty confident here. You know, Weapon Skill 5, Toughness 4, you know, 3-up armor, 5-up ward. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that I got this, so I'm okay with the charge. Over here, like I said, his Hydra rallied and turns to face the Demon Prince, who was not done hunting him. And yeah, we all know how that one's going to end up. And then during his magic phase, he gets Power Darkness off. And the only reason I lit it off is because he put the strength on the Spearmen instead of the Witch Elves. I don't know why, but he did. But the cool part about the Power Darkness is that if he rolls 3 or more, or if he rolls 3 Power Dice channeled, he takes a wound with no armor save. Well, she had a 50-50 chance of negating the wound. He rolls a 3, so she takes the wound. So she's 1/3 dead now. He also got Shroud of Darkness or Shroud of Despair off, and I didn't know exactly what this spell did. I didn't fully respect it, and again, that's my fault. Basically, every enemy model within 12 inches of her now cannot use the General's Leadership, nor can they use the BSB's Stand Your Ground rule. So basically, it's like my General and my BSB are dead. And it's like, oh, wow, I did not realize. At the time, it didn't sound that bad, but, well, you'll see. You'll see. Yeah, I'm dumb. So yeah, in combat, the Trolls just get mutilated. The Assassin kills one all by himself. He's got 3 attacks, but with the Twilight Cloak or whatever he's wearing, not only does he have Killing Blow, which doesn't really apply here, but he does D3 wounds in the first round of combat. He ended up wounding twice because he had the Man Bane, so he had the +1 to wound. And he got 1 through. He got 2 wounds on him, 1 got through, and he did 3 wounds, so 1 troll just died. The BSB did a wound on another one. Just 1 got through because he just had the Sword of Might. But then the rest of the Executioners raised up their swords, brought him down, and when the dust settled, every troll got killed to a man. I made some terrible regen saves. And honestly, I was hoping that the Trolls would just kill a handful of these guys. I wasn't really looking for much, and I didn't really get anything. Actually, I got nothing. I didn't even get to attack. So yeah, he pulverized the Trolls in 1 round of combat like they were nothing. And then we go into the combat with the Witch Elves. And holy sweet Zinch. Wow, did I underestimate these guys. My unit champion issues a challenge. His unit champion accepted. And that was actually went out fine. I did a wound. He did 2 wounds to me, which I saved no problem. And then he attacked back. My unit champion attacked back and murdered her, killed her, did a wound to her, and she died. So we got +1 toughness for his trouble. The unit then his unit attacked, and with all the rerolls, he kills 6 warriors with a 3-up armor and a 5-up ward. I think he did like 16 to 18 wounds altogether with poison and re-rolling 5s to wound and all that other ridiculousness. So at -1, I had a 4-up armor and a 5-up ward. I'm thinking, okay, I'm still alright. He ends up killing 6. An entire rank of warriors died to strength 3 armor piercing attacks. And then his impact hits from his cauldron when he charged me killed 2 warriors. I ended up killing a handful, I can't remember, maybe 5 or 6 of his witch elves. But yeah, I lose combat by 2 or 3. I'm not steadfast. Actually, I lose a lot more than that. I lose by 6. So I need, yeah, I lose by 6. So I need Snake Eyes to stick around, and I break. And with the Twilight spell, the Despair or whatever, whatever the spell was, the Cloak of Despair or whatever that he cast, I couldn't even use my BSB to reroll. So my unit flees. They go 7 inches. He pursues 11, catches them, runs them down, kills them all. My BSB then fails his panic check and can't re-roll the panic check for being the BSB because that stupid spell is off. So my BSB goes fleeing away from the Witch Elves towards the Medusa and stuff like that. It's like, dang it! And then in combat over here, Ashley kills off the last bolt thrower and does the happy dance on their corpses. So then we go into bottom of 3. And yeah, at this point, it's not looking good for me at all. I'm starting to rethink my whole strategy about going after Dark Elves. And yeah, the Demon Prince charges the Hydra because now I need points. The Mutalith charges the Medusa because I'm positive I can kill it or run it down or whatever. My BSB fails to rally. Once again, he can't. I roll a 9. He can't use the BSB to re-roll it, so he continues to flee right in front of the damn archers, the crossbowmen or whatever. So yeah, that's not good. Ashkus turns to face and deal with the spearmen. I figure I'm going to start magicking them back, and the Chimera comes around because I have an idea. I pushed him around so that the executioners couldn't charge him, but I also moved him around there because I was hoping to get a flank charge on the spearmen. I was going to try to get in there and get a hold and assassinate his sorceress at this point. I couldn't get in there just yet because of the angle, but I was hoping his executioners were going to move during his turn, and if I was lucky, I could assassinate his sorceress and get rid of his magic phase, because dark magic now scares the ever-loving god out of me. And on a positive note, the dogs rallied this turn. They were right on the board edge. They have a 5 leadership. I roll a 4, and they rallied. I was so proud of them. So there's 35 points you won't get, jerk. Here's a better picture of the Demon Prince trying to finish off the Hydra. There's a picture of the Mutalith getting ready to rock the Medusa's world. And yeah, magic is uneventful because I think I roll like a 4 or a Snake Eyes or something like that, something ridiculously low. So magic is a joke. And then we go into combat, and the Mutalith does 2 wounds, takes 1. And the Medusa, I think it was, yeah, charged, and I did 2 wounds. And the Medusa did 1 or 2. But I win by 1 or 2. It doesn't matter. His leadership 2, and his general is way out of range. And his BSB as well. So he doesn't roll snakes. And I figure she's not rallying on Snake Eyes. There's just no way. So I test a restrain, and I turn the Mutalith to charge the archers next turn. Not thinking that the BSB is probably going to get run down. But, you know, whatever. Over here, the Demon Prince finishes off the Hydra and does the sexy pose to just, you know, exclamation point his awesome. And then we go to top of 4 after movement. And as you can see, there has been some adjustments. His sorceress, I think he saw what I was getting ready to do, and he removed his sorceress from the unit and put them into the unit of executioners. And then he angled them in such a way that I could see them with the Chimera and get a hold of them. and his sorceress was on the correct side. So I was like, finally, a mistake. I can do something about this. I know what he was doing. He was turning around to fire off spells at Ashicus and kill him off. But yeah, I don't think he took the Chimera charging him into the flank and killing off his characters as a possibility. His crossbowmen, of course, charged my BSB and ran him down. And his witch elves reformed to get ready to get back into this fight because there's still some stuff for them to murder. So yeah, it's kind of it's on the razor's edge on which way this one's gonna go. Yeah, there's a picture of the scumbag elves running down my BSB. Jerks. During his magic phase, yeah, he, as you can see, he's able to Doombolt Ashicus out of existence, which is a shame. But since there's no combat, we go into bottom of 4, and after crossing it with my opponent that my Chimera can definitely make that charge into the Executioners, the Chimera makes a charge and gets into the Executioners, and it's glorious. Oh yeah, and then his last turn, as you can see, his Medusa did not rally, and she's right at the board edge. And just in case I forget, his next turn, top of 5, she doesn't rally, and she runs off the table. The Mutalith reforms to look at the archers because he's pissed off about the BSB thing, and my Demon Prince runs over to just start murdering elves. They want a lesson in pain, he will give it to them. Here's a better picture of the Chimera getting into his attack. I completely and totally expected the Chimera to lose this combat or die, but I wanted to try to kill off his sorcerer or sorceress. She had gotten off a Power of Darkness spell, channeled 3 more power dice, and put yet another wound on herself. I think it was in the last phase, in her last magic phase. So she's only got 1 wound left. So all I have to do is hit and wound her once, maybe twice, and math alone says that I've got her. So that's really what I was hoping for here. I knew his BSB and his assassin were going to come over, but I was really, really hoping to be able to weather those attacks. And that was the whole idea of this charge. And so my magic is uneventful. We go to combat, and the Chimera pulls it off. Not only does he weather the assassin's attacks, the BSB's attacks, and the sorceress's attack, he only takes 2 wounds. I throw everything at the sorceress, and I kill her. I do the final wound to her, kill her, and then I thunder stomp like 3 or 4 of the executioners out. I win the combat, but they're steadfast and they stay. The BSB is still in there, so they're steadfast 9 with a reroll. They make that no problem, and then they turn to face my Chimera. But at this point, I don't even care. I am so proud of the Chimera right now. I am so happy with the Chimera that when they cut him down, totally understandable. The Chimera earned it. So here's top of 5 after movement, and yeah, his witch elves move up to get an angle on something, I guess. His archers turn around to get ready to shoot at me some, and the spearmen just try to get out of there. They want no part of this fight anymore. His magic is uneventful because it's dead. His shooting no longer really matters. I mean, I think he fired at my Mutalith but didn't do anything. And so we go into combat, and the Chimera weathers his attacks again. All of them. They all struck before the Chimera. They failed their fear check is the problem. With the reroll, he failed his fear check, so he needed 5s to hit me. And the Chimera only took 1 more wound. So I took his 6 base attacks and put him after his BSB, and then I got 3 more attacks from his tail. So I threw those at the assassin, and I poisoned the assassin twice with strength 6 hits and killed him. And with the BSB, I think I got 2 poison on him, 1 regular wound, and then I thunderstomped 3 more guys. I win this combat. They stay, once again, they're steadfast 8 or 9. The executioners live, but the Chimera killed off his general, his BSB, and his assassin. All of his characters, the Chimera. Anybody who has anything negative to say about the Chimera, take it up with me, because they're awesome. They're totally awesome. I love my Chimera. I need to name him. If you have a good name for the Chimera, put it in the comment section below. If I choose your name, then so be it. He will be named that forever. Bottom of 5, after movement, and the tides have started to turn. My Mutalith and my Demon Prince charge the crossbowmen because it's the only smart charge there is. They fail their terror check and flee. The Mutalith fails to redirect into the ladies. I think. No. The Mutalith, yeah, he fails to redirect and then rolls like snake eyes for his charge, so he doesn't make it. The Demon Prince redirects into the Witch Elves, and I make that charge into their flank. And other than that, nothing really changes. My dogs are still rallied, but I leave them over on the side of the table because I'm not bringing them into this fight. There's a picture of the Demon Prince. If you're wondering where all the Skaven slaves went, the guy he was borrowing those models from had to leave, so we had to pick them all up. And those dice, the 1 and the 6, that represents 16 models left on the table. And then the 2 little markers there, the cauldron has a couple of wounds on it, I think. So yeah, just so you know how that's all working out. Then we go in the magic, and the Mutalith, he casts his spell at the crossbowman. My opponent says, go ahead. I roll a d6, and it rolls a 6! So the crossbowmen, they all take toughness checks. I think 9 or 10 die, and I get a spawn. And there he is. Look at him. Aww, he's so cute. But yeah, the Mutalith recruits a spawn out of the massive body parts created by all the failed toughness tests from the crossbowman. And there he is. Say hi. His name is... Yeah, he doesn't know how to talk well yet. So then we go into combat, and my Demon Prince is able to put 5 more wounds onto the unit. They do 1 to him. Yeah, I think it was, to be honest with you, I don't know if the Witch Elves did that wound to him or if the Demon Blade did it, but I did 5 onto them, and that's with the Trickster Shard. He was rolling some outstanding saves. But after all is said and done, I win combat. He's steadfast, and he rolls a 10, and the BSB is dead. So they flee. I pursue. He goes 11 inches. I go 11 inches. Oh, I got him with the Demon Prince. Killed all the Witch Elves. Killed all the Cauldron. Everything is dead. And it's like, perfect. Perfect. The Dark Elves are mortal after all. But not all is good. The Chimera, the heroic champion, legendary Chimera, gets killed finally by the executioners. They actually fail their fear check again. So that's like 2 failed fear checks in a row for these guys, but they're able to put 2 wounds through on him, and one got through. So he died, but totally fine. It sucks that he died, but he earned his points back. He did what he was supposed to do, and then some, and I couldn't be prouder. So please, YouTube followers, listeners, subscribers, whatever you want your title to be, name the Chimera. Come up with something awesome, badass, legendary, something to really make this feat never be forgotten, because that was entirely too cool. And he does stuff like this all the time. I don't know if you watched one of the earlier battle reports. He took a flank charge from a Carnosaur and a Scarvet BSB, and not only did he weather their attacks, he killed the Carnosaur and thunder stomped the Scar Veteran. So please, be cleverer than I am. Put them down, put names down for the Chimera in the comment section, and if I choose your name, I'll have it branded on his side or something. It'll just totally be worth it. Top of 6, after movement and everything like that. After the executioners killed off the Chimera, the one, the only, the legend, the, what's it called? The executioners reformed to face the Demon Prince, and during his turn he charged the Demon Prince, and he's unbreakable, so he had to stay. I forgot to say, the crossbowmen, after they took all those wounds from the Mutalist spell, they failed their panic check and started fleeing. This turn they did not rally, they continued to flee. And that's where they ended up. And the Spearman turned to face the spawn because he thinks I'm sending a spawn into him. Not happening. There's a better picture of the executioners going after the Demon Prince that just took out a Hydra, Witch Elves, and a Cauldron. Dude, I'm an effing Demon Prince. What are you thinking about? So, yeah, we go into combat here, and I massacre him. Oh, the Demon Blade, Thunder Stomps. It was glorious. Not only do I smash like 5 or 6 of them, I think it might have been even more than that. I think it might have been like 7 or 8. They're steadfast, but they fail. They fail their fear check first off, and then they lose combat. They break, and I run them down like wheat, and there's just nothing left. Nothing left. I will not be beaten by elves. That's what the demon prince said, and that's the rules we live by. So here we are, bottom of 6, last turn, and I don't have any charges or anything like that. The Mutalith moves up, the Demon Prince moves over, and the Spawn did his random movement at the crossbowman. He went like 8-9 inches, forced him to flee off the table. So there he is. There's the little test. So yeah, he's there now, and he scared him off. So good man, good man. And then, yeah, I can't really do anything else, so I just fire a bunch of magic off at the Spearman Elves, and 2 survive, and they make their break test, or their panic test, so yeah. And there it is, end of the game. There's 2 Dark Elves left on the table, and they have pointy sticks. I have my Demon Prince and my Mutalith left, and my dogs. So I win this game by a solid margin. We didn't do up points because we started immediately talking tactics and everything like that about how to change up the list, how to improve things, what we would do differently, how we would build up the list. So the next time I play him, I expect a very different list. But this is how it ended. So yeah, victory for Warriors of Chaos. Did you doubt? Did you doubt? Quick timeout. Banners, banners, banners. Get you some banners. Send this guy an email, get you a banner. Don't hesitate, don't wait, just get an effing banner. Why do you think I keep winning? It's because I have awesome banners. Gosh. But yeah, an epic comeback for Lord Tremendous. I thought he had me. When the chariots went down, when he blew through my center like it was paper, yeah, I was like, woo! Maybe I'll do better next game. But yep, couldn't quit, couldn't give up, and in the end, it paid off because I won. It was a hard-fought luck. I would love to say it was skill, but it was a lot of luck, a lot of luck. I ended up losing my BSB, Ashikis, my warriors, both chariots, my trolls, my Hellstriders, and the legendary Chimera. The Dark Elves lost everything except for their Dread Spears, and by Dread Spears I mean 2 remaining models. The new Dark Elf book is full of crazy tricks and really painful spells, like that, whatever it was, the Cloak of Despair or whatever, where you can't use your Lord's leadership or your BSB. Holy cow. Power of Darkness, it's still tough, but hey, watch it when they generate those 3 points, or the 3 power dice, because they take a wound, no armor save, and that's huge. Doombolt is just as crazily painful as always. So yeah, don't underestimate him like I did. Yeah, because I can't promise you'll have that crazy lucky comeback like I did. We were both shocked. When it turned in those last few turns, we were like, oh man. Yeah, I way underestimated the Witch Elves. Had I given them the respect they deserved, the Demon Prince would have ignored the Hydra and gone straight into them. And I would have, but before that, I probably would have Final Transmutationed and any kind of magic that I could into them as much as I could, because holy God, that Cauldron makes them so dangerous. So incredibly dangerous. But, yeah. Great first game against the new Dark Elf book. I'm not just saying that because I won. I really did enjoy it. I like how challenging they are. I like how toughness 3 models can be. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does with his list now that we've gone through this first game and tried out some stuff. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he throws at me next time. And I'm looking forward to the rematch, buddy. So yeah, hurry up. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was my first battle report against the new Dark Elf book, and very interesting, very cool. I hope you guys learned something from it and can adjust your strategies accordingly. Please don't forget to try to name that Chimera in the comments section below. The best name, the one that I just think rocks, is the one that I'm going to go with, and I'll announce it in the battle report that I make where I've chosen. and then I'll have my wife like scribe the name on her on the side of the Chimera or something like that, so that you know that you have put your mark on the one, the only, the legendary Chimera. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed playing it. Thanks.